Folks, welcome back to the Bobby Bo Show. Here's the moves it starts with.
Bobby Bojangles. You and me.
Because you have to know this.
Sign the contract.
Focus. You don't know this.
Sign the contract.
This isn't like a new thing for Bobby Bojangles. So, yeah.
Blunder. You know, the Bobby Bo Show. Do you follow? Folks, on Monday there's going to be a special episode of the Bobby Bo Show. I'll be playing a chess match against Sean Passant, and it will even be commentated by Gotham Chess, so I hope to see you there. I'll be streaming it on YouTube, and I hope you enjoyed today's episode of the Bobby Bo Show. It's a good one. And on Friday there will be another Fortnite video, so make sure you subscribe if you don't want to miss that. Folks, welcome back to the Bobby Bo Show. I just found this new chess variant. Whoever makes the most queen moves wins the game. And it starts with the queen's gambit, and after they decline the gambit with e6, I play knight to c3, getting my knights out first like my opening principles video. But now they pin my knight with bishop to b4. So I'll break the pin with my bishop here, and they'll play a6. Now I like to open up this c file for my rook here. So I take the pawn, and before taking back with the pawn, they trade bishop for knight to take some pressure off the middle here. So they can take with their queen, making their first queen move of the game, developing their queen before any of these pieces. And I'll take advantage of that by going for the full center. And I want to play e4, but I can't yet. So I play f3 first, e4 coming next. That would attack the queen. They make their second queen move, queen to g5. This diagonal's now opened up, so they can play queen to h4 check. Is that a problem? Now my knight can't come out to here. How do I block this check? Just g3, and there's no problems. So now I play e4, and after h4, I block it with the pawn. Queen under attack now, so they make their fourth queen move, queen to e7. And let's compare. After move 9, they've made 4 queen moves. I brought my bishop out. They traded off their dark square bishop for my knight. I have 2 pawns in the center, supported by my pawn here. But when you move the f pawn, you weaken the diagonal here. And my king's still in the middle, so maybe my king is weak on these dark squares. But they traded off their dark square bishop, so I just have to worry about the queen, which can't get to the dark squares yet. And in fact, I want to control the dark squares even more. If I could play bishop to b4 on this diagonal right here, the queen has to move, and then they can't castle, right? So I'm trying to think about how I could do that. And then I play queen to a4 check. And of course, they block with the bishop here. Best move, attacking my queen. So I go back to b3. And now this attacks the b7 pawn. But what I really want to do is play bishop to b4, putting my bishop on the diagonal here, making them move their queen again, and then they can't castle. And knight to c6 doesn't work, because I can just play d5, attacking the knight, and they can take with this pawn, and I can't take back with this pawn, because it's pinned to the king, but then my bishop can take on g7, and they lose their rook. So knight to c6 doesn't work, and they play the best move, e6, but now I can play bishop to b4, controlling all of the dark squares. And now the best move is actually probably a queen move, queen to d8, but maybe c5 too. But now I take the pawn, and after we trade pawns, the diagonal's blocked off, but maybe my rook is coming over. So bishop back to a3, and it's still even material, but this pawn is the target here. They want to defend it, and the best move is knight to c6, because then when my rook comes over, they can just play knight to b4, blocking the bishop here. And then they can get the rook behind the pawn, and they're just finishing development. Maybe a slight advantage for me, but instead they move their bishop again, so the knight can come to d7. And then it defends the pawn, but it takes an extra move to develop, and the bishop's not doing anything on this diagonal. And now what would you do? Have you found the crushing move? Would you play rook to c1, double up on the pawn here? Or did you find the best move, queen to c3, attacking the pawn twice, with the bigger threat, queen captures g7, so knight to f6, blocking the g7 pawn, and I can just take with the bishop. And now I control the whole diagonal again, and they can't castle, they have to move the queen. So queen to c7, and their king is stuck in the middle. They're never going to castle. How are they going to take this bishop? And I usually get my knight and my bishop out and castle before developing my rooks. But I think rook to d1, very powerful, controlling the entire file. Because after they develop their knight to d7, I have bishop to d6, hitting the queen, supported by the rook here, and maybe something like e5 at some point. And the bishop is just cemented here. How do they take this bishop? They have no dark squared bishop. Their knights cannot attack this bishop. They can't castle. This knight has no way to attack this bishop. But now they play queen to b6, and I gave up this diagonal here. Also, they made their 6th queen move, and I've only moved my queen 3 times. And now I make a mistake by playing bishop to d3, thinking I'm just developing, bringing my knight out to here and castling soon. But now my rook is not defending the bishop, and after bishop to a4, they're attacking my rook. And also, their queen attacks my bishop. And this bishop is the reason I'm winning so much right now. So I have to save it with bishop to c2, and now the rook defends the bishop, but not really, because they can just take my bishop And after my queen takes back, they can play knight to d5. Brilliant move here. Because after my pawn takes, then my rook would no longer be defending the bishop, and they can just take it with the queen. So we'll trade off 2 pieces, but then they can castle, and it's just basically an even game. I'm up a pawn at that point. But instead they move their bishop back to b5. They think they can use my strats against me. But it's all about the dark squares this game. And this is just a waste of a turn anyway, because I can play a4, defended by the bishop here, so they have to go back to c6 anyway. Queen no longer attacks the bishop, but they do get some bonus points for moving this bishop 6 times. But this is the queen game, and after a5, they have to move their queen again, so they make their 7th queen move, queen to b7. Now the queen's not x-raying the bishop anymore, and the queen is off of this diagonal. So they don't have any threats, but I don't really have any threats either. It would take a few moves to set up some attack, but I haven't developed this knight or castled yet. So knight to e2, and look at all this red space is all the squares I control with my pieces. And it should be pretty obvious that I'm winning the game right now, even if you don't know how to win. But I'll show you how to win, because now I should just castle, double my rooks up on the d file, and then just stack everything up here. Maybe play e5 at some point. I don't even know exactly. I just know that I'm completely winning, and I would figure it out because they basically can't move. This rook is just stuck in the corner, and their king is stuck in the middle. They can't castle or move their king, and all their pieces have to defend while I set up my attack. And when I attack with all my pieces, I'll be up an entire rook practically, even though we're even material right now. And when you have a good position like this, your moves are really easy to find, but they have to spend a lot of time and effort thinking about the right moves because there are none. And eventually they will make a mistake unless they're Magnus Carlsen or Hikaru Nakamura. And here they make a mistake by playing a7, putting their queen on this diagonal to try to stop me from castling. But the queen does not defend this bishop anymore. Undefended piece here. I take it immediately, and that's how we finally cracked them. They didn't resign immediately, and I took that personally. So after they played rook to d8, I went for checkmate with bishop to a4. This bishop wasn't really doing anything, and now it's in line with the king, and that's important because I want to play bishop to c5 here, attacking the queen, and the knight is currently pinned to the king, so it can't take. But if their queen just takes, my queen takes back, and then their knight's not pinned, so the knight can just take my queen. So bishop to a4, and now the bishop will pin the knight to the king. But now they go for queen to e3, pinning my knight to the king, and attacking the f3 pawn. And now they're creating some pressure on my king with their queen. Okay, I have 4 pieces attacking their king right now, but I didn't consider that this is their 9th queen move. And after I play bishop to c5, they make their 10th queen move with queen captures f3. And okay, I have to catch up, so I'll make a queen move. Queen to d6, my 5th queen move, 5 to 10 right now, and I'm threatening checkmate. And the only piece that can defend the e7 square is this knight. So they play knight to g8, defending e7, but now I play queen to f8, checkmate, my 6th queen move. But the game's over, and they have 10 queen moves, so they win. Smash the like button if you like to move your queen, and subscribe if you think I could become a chess master. Watch this video so you don't make the same opening mistakes that they did. Thanks for watching the Bobby Bo Show. I hope you have an excellent rest. Thanks for watching the Bobby Bo Show. I hope you have an excellent rest of your day.